Ah, the nostalgia of the original theme tune and the original series. Hey y'all, welcome back into City Skylines. This is a little video I've thrown together to show my entire journey, my story of Cliffside Bay. Now, I've been playing City Skylines for just over 2 years without any mods or any DLC. My first city, Blackwoods, which you can see just about here, was an experimental first city, to say the least. It was a lot of fun, kind of messy. It was definitely very ambitious, and yeah, I'll agree, might have been a little bit wacky, and it was most definitely far out there. So after more than a year of building Blackwoods, totaling about 63 episodes, I came to a stage where I just couldn't do anymore. Blackwoods was finished. So, what was next? What could I do next? So I dabbled in using DLC, that kind of thing. Now, truth be said, I never really played the game the way the game is supposed to be played, because for me it was all a bit of fun, an adventure, I guess, my very first ever city. So for the next series, I intended to do just that. I came up with a plan to set up a challenge for myself to play the game the way it should be played. And then I thought to myself, well, how do I do that? My answer, well, let's do a series attempting to unlock all the landmarks and unique buildings in as fast a time as possible. Now, I never got around to unlocking them in my first ever city, not all of them, only a few, I think, so I thought to myself, well, heck yeah, let's do it, let's go for it. Let's try and do it the way the original players of the City Skylines first ever did it. No mods and no DLC, and that kind of ties in with my kind of, as so far, regular playing style. And so began the journey of Now, I'd already used the first map called Blackwoods, hence the series name, so it kind of makes logical sense to use the next map on the list, which is Cliffside Bay, right? Now, I didn't know how difficult that was going to become until I got into the game. Now, all the maps have their own unique designs and attainable resources, and then there's Cliffside Bay. Cliffside Bay is a tiny stretch of land, almost an island, surrounded by nothing but water. But with your starting tile, the water availability is kind of limited. On natural resources, well, there isn't that many. If you go by the natural progression of unlocking each tile during the city's build, it pretty much stays that way. Speaking of building, I could have chosen a worse starting map than to choose one that had nothing but rolling hills and mountains. This would certainly go against me throughout the whole series, where I'd find myself constantly terraforming and spending lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. And obviously, as it's a challenge, I made things even more harder by only having 9 tiles to use, like the original players of City Skylines. And the starting tile isn't really the greatest. As I said, you only have a small kind of access or connection to water, and there's no flowing rivers to help separate and move the unwanted wastewater around. So it's going to take quite a few episodes before I can even reach to the other side to make that water workable. So the challenge is to unlock all these game's milestones and landmarks without mods or DLC in the shortest time possible. With little knowledge or research on how I go about this, how do I go about this? So yeah, let's see how I got it done. Episode 1, first of all, you start the game off with 0 population, only 1 tile to build on. Like I said, small access to water, $70,000, I'm gonna call them dollars, and only 1 connection to the highway. And importantly, you can't attempt a single unlock until you get to Little Hamlet population 400 people. So my starting year for the whole challenge will be 19/6/2024 according to the game. I say it the other way around, 6/19/2024 I guess. But there we go, we're going to stick with what the game says. So time to start racing through these milestones as fast as I can to open up all those lovely unlocks. Little Hamlet went by real easy. Worthy Village took no time at all. With Worthy Village in the bag, I gained access to the Uniques menu, which consists of landmarks and level 1 unique buildings. Interestingly, as soon as I gained access to the menu, I'd automatically unlock the Statue of Liberty by my city producing 5,000 units of goods, so it was kind of interesting, it was kind of intriguing. how I unlocked that before I even did anything. On the level 1 uniques, Lazarette Plaza was automatically unlocked on reaching Worthy Village. Average citizen's health had to be under 20%, and I had to manage that for 3 weeks. So yeah, I purposely had turned off my single health center in prep for this unlock. So there's a little bit of forward planning going towards this, but a lot of this was, as per usual with me, made up as I went along. So now I finally got the landmarks available and unique buildings. I guess Cliffside Bay truly begins. Fortunately, I just about spotted the statue shopping, which is where I probably give you my first and probably only tip, because I'll probably forget I'm doing tips. But yeah, tip number 1, unlock the statue shopping as early as possible. All you got to do for this is be negative $1 in the red, so to speak. So yeah, owe them money. That's the way to go about it. Owe them money. So yeah, I guarantee you should go for this one as soon as possible, because throughout the game, you're going to be swamped in money and you're going to be kind of hard to spend it all, unless you're the world's worst ever mayor, especially at playing City Skylines. So I got the statue shopping super easy by dropping all the taxes and just building as much as possible. Easy as that. Dropping all those taxes also gave me Tiny Town and the level 2 unique. So yeah, dropping taxes, people are going to move in. On opening the level 2 unlocks, I'd automatically receive the Mall of Moderation, which kind of makes me question how they've set up the whole process, that kind of thing. It looks like it needs a rethink how they do this. Especially if you're gaining things without having to put the work in, or you're unlocking stuff before you've even seen that you've unlocked it, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, the Mall of Moderation, that was easy peasy. As soon as I'd received the landfills, I didn't use a single one. Obviously forward planning yet again. I kind of just let the garbage pile up. So you need an average garbage piling up for at least 25%. Similarly, to unlock the government offices, I did the same and only needed 40% average garbage piling up per building. And as I was already on 39%, I thought I'd let this become my 5th and final unlock for the episode, which was pretty cool. And as you can see, I was in a good place, but it wasn't going to get any easier. So with episode 2 racing along, my intention is now to try and reach all these milestones as quickly as possible so I can gain access obviously to those unlocks, and obviously to try and alleviate that problem of me having things unlocked before I see them getting unlocked, that kind of thing. So with vast expansion, it got me Boomtown, population 2200, giving me access to the level 3 buildings. Coincidentally, achieving each milestone, not only does it open up more buildings, but it also opens up more problems. For example, as soon as you're given the medical centers, you suddenly get a little pop-ups and your citizens are asking for you to build medical centers. So yeah, there you go. So more milestones, more buildings, more problems. Now at my hands, I already had the industrial specializations of forestry and farming, so it was quick and easy to get the department store. Turning off the police departments led to a crime rate of over 50%, which gave me the courthouse. Hitting episode 3, I was thinking now, for this challenge, I'm going to have to plan out how to use all my money or work out a way to get as much money as I can as quick as possible, that kind of thing. So I started focusing on building toll booths to rake the cash in and help with any future plans. Busy Town population 4200 arrived, opening up the level 4 unique buildings. Thank you very much, I'll have more of that. Obviously, as was standard with this game, it automatically unlocked the Winter Market, which has the same requirement as reaching Busy Town, population 4200. Now, the tax office here really does stand out to why Colossal Order really should think about how they implement the milestones, the landmarks, all the mechanics, that kind of thing. Because as you can see here, I've already started on it, but there's no way I'm going to ever achieve that until I eventually get to the milestones which unlock the water treatment plant. So it's kind of silly having that put up here, even though I can't even unlock it yet. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit nitpicky on that one. So I don't know. Maybe I'll let that one slide. So getting back to it. So for the newly gained level 4s, the Opera House was auto-unlocked with 3,000 units of natural resources gained. Something that I'd unlocked a while ago probably, but I didn't even notice because of the way the game's been set up. So yeah, there you go. So I'd obviously gained access to this and I didn't even know, but it was an unexpected but welcome bonus. Now, as you can probably see in the video, the early and main issue I had with Cliffside Bay, apart from you can't build on there's nothing to build on, it's just all rocks and mountains. It was the water, the lack of access to it. So somehow I had to come up with a plan to separate the clean water from the wastewater. And as I mentioned before, on the toll booths, it was time to buy my very first tile and get that money raking in. So that was kind of cool. Which also encouraged me to begin my very first public transportation network, which was just buses, that kind of thing. And we finally finished off the episode by getting to Big Town, which gave me the level 5 uniques and finally, the high density buildings, a lifesaver. Episode 4 was spent battling the said water and garbage issues I said we'd probably have throughout the whole series, but yeah, there we go, we was battling it. But we got to small city, population 8,500, and the last of the uniques, which are level 6. Fountain of Life and Death was unlocked with one citizen living his whole lifespan in the city, so that's kind of cool. Being born, living, going to school, that kind of thing, getting a job, dying. All in the same city, that's how you unlock that. Stadium, unlocked, produce 1,000 units of goods, which was also unlocked way before I even had a chance to notice that I'd done it, that kind of thing. Pushing on with the episode, I dropped the taxes down to 4% for about 20 weeks, and it gave us the Posh Mall, so which was, it was touch and go because I thought I was destroying my city, but yeah, we got through it. To help me get through it, taking out all the loans to help clear the debt gave us the high interest tower. Huge expansion gave me 10,000 squares of residential zone and the friendly neighborhood park. Episode 5, I was kind of taking the challenge more seriously. I turned it kind of more into a let's play instead of a do everything as quick as possible, and also it was becoming tricky, which is why it became a let's play, I guess. So I just spent episode 5 implementing a tier list or a cheat sheet, that kind of thing, so I could go forward and hopefully make the journey easier. Yeah, doesn't work like that, does it? Episode 6 was started with me playing along with water pollution and the beginnings of a huge industrial push and Cliffside Bay's very first interchange. The episode ended with me reaching big city, population 14,000, and unlocking the tax office by constructing a water treatment plant, 3 instances of water pumping stations, and electricity production of 1,000 milliwatts. Episode 7 had me focusing on getting to Grand City, and hopefully getting the observatory, with the main goal being 2,000 abandoned buildings. I wanted really to get the cathedral, but yeah. So let's get people abandoning my city, shall we? Now this proved more difficult than I could ever imagine. I created my own downfall from the get-go by deleting the industry buildings. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. My initial thinking was if you can get people out of jobs, they'll move away to cities who got jobs, that kind of thing, and it kind of backfired on me because I'm trying to get people to abandon the buildings. How can they abandon the buildings if you've deleted them? So yeah, huge mistake on my part, but I still continued on. Maxing out the taxes really helped, but I finally got to negative 80,000 in debt, and you know, I guess it was time to abandon the plan because yeah, I don't think I was ever going to be able to recover my city. But at least I'd unlocked the observatory, 1,000 abandoned buildings, so at least I got that going, but 2,000 abandoned buildings was just not happening. It was just not happening. Oh, by the way, I also unlocked the oppression office, unemployment rate over 50%. No kidding. Maintained that for 5 weeks. My city would finally recover, but it took me quite a while, and I was nearly $1 million in debt. Despite that, I still hit the Grand City, and we're still over $2 million in debt. I discovered the Expo Center was also unlocked, 2,000 people to visit the city. So there you go. Destroying your city really does help. So I began vast expansion to try and get my city to recover, and it was also the beginnings of my very first campus ground, which wouldn't get finished till roughly episode 25, I believe. Carrying on, we unlocked the Theater of Wonders by placing down 3 universities, high schools, and elementary schools. The cinema was unlocked with 4,000 tourists. They're flocking in because I've obviously heard the word that the mayor is back. Plaza of the Dead fill 3 instances of cemetery, obviously a result of all those people being made to leave the city. Statue of Wealth have more than $5,000 in money, which was kind of interesting. I didn't even see that one happen, so yeah, I completely missed that one. I finished off the episode by placing 30 different types of service buildings down to open up the Cathedral of Plenitude and 5,000 squares of commercial zoning to unlock the hypermarket. So really, it was a disastrous episode, but it was also one of my favorite ones, my best ones, because it got me to unlock quite a lot of things. In episode 8, it was time to go for my very next unlock, which was the official park, so let's get some offices going, I thought. I finally launched our subway system. And while in the process of doing that, we unlocked Transport Tower, 1,000 weekly passengers, City Hall, 3,000 passengers using our public transport, and the department store, 8,000 units of natural resources. Time to push on for our next milestone, the capital city, population 28,000. Reaching capital city gave us the harbors, which I quickly placed down. I placed 1 of each to give me the sea and skyscraper, and then 2 of each to give me the gherkin. Episode 9 was just spent on building a 4 stack to get the city ready for a huge push for industry and potential traffic problems, that kind of thing. Episode 10 was spent fixing city problems, traffic, garbage, pedestrians, and I made another attempt at unlocking the cathedral. I needed 2,000 abandoned buildings. That's all I needed. I had enough population and I had enough money, so hopefully I could do it. So let's try. Turning off the water, maxing the taxes got me there. But I went from 31,000 people to about 1,591 in a matter of minutes. So the good thing I learned in episode 10 is don't delete the industrial buildings. Keep them there so people can abandon them. And also, you don't have to turn off all the services. Episode 11, I finally got the theater by filling up 5 cemeteries. Then I went all out office zoning and residential suburbia to unlock the official park, which was 10,000 squares of office zoning built. This would also help me reach the population of 36,000. And reach that milestone of Colossal City and unlock the Chirp X launch site. Around about this time, 5,000 citizens had lived a full lifespan in my city, unlocking the Science Center. Episode 12 got off to a super fast start. Getting the Grand Library was easy. Just by instantly plopping down 7 universities. You need a lot of money to do that, by the way. You need a lot of money, but I had a lot of money. Servicing service offices, which I always struggle to say, is kind of a tongue twister. It was of the same nature, but it was a little more costly and a little more repetitive. So I did this by placing down, check this out, 287 medical centers, which I did due to their cost. You know, they're one of the cheapest things to place down, and their size, so you're not going to need a lot of land. More high school additions broke us over the 30,000 weekly educational expenses, which got us the sports arena. Extra gridding and the use of high-density residential got us the 30,000 residential zone squares, which gave us the shopping center. So yeah, everything's ticking along. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Episode 13 was the time to buy more land, with my main focus on getting as much space as possible to build on, with an eye on, the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower, which is going to need a lot of space and a lot of zoning. So it really was the beginning of me truly pushing for industry. Fitting an interchange and a cargo station and the very first of the Fox Crazy Designs, the Sunken Cargo Hub, which I called Dean's Dip, I believe. So I guess from here on in, I started specializing my builds. It wasn't always unlocks. I was also doing little kind of proper city builds, that kind of thing, the way only I know how to do. So it was kind of an interesting episode. Episode 14, what I called Industry Revolutionized. It kind of made a significant contribution to how the whole city would finally evolve into and probably end up as. Now, I discovered a flaw in the wording of one of the unlocks, the academic library. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. It told me to put down 5 instances of the creator's library, which is something you shouldn't be using in the original kind of unlock challenge because the creator's library wasn't a thing at the time. So I was struggling with that. I was really confused with that one. I put it down and then I found out because it's a unique or a landmark, you can't put down more than one. So that kind of really threw me. I really did not know what I was doing with that. It was absolutely incorrectly worded by Colossal Order. They really need to address that issue. It was kind of a bit of a slip up on their part. And while I was worrying about that, Grand Central Terminal slipped way under the radar. Apparently I'd filled up 7 instances of cemetery. So I'm going to state I achieved that roughly around about 30, 11, 20, 78. And obviously this was yet another game changer, as now I could place down the crematoriums and get rid of all those cemeteries, which I ended up not doing because I kind of like the look of them. 15/12/2080 was the date I hit Metropolis, a population of 55,000 people, which gave me the airport and obviously the opportunity of more unlocks. Importantly, this is the very last building you ever get to unlock, so all the buildings are now at my disposal. Episode 15, we're going to skip past that. That was just me detailing. Episode 16, with the airports unlocked, I thought, let's place some of them down. So placing 1 of them down gave me the airport, and then placing 2 of them down gave me the London Eye. Can you tell I'm trying to remember this from the top of my head? This episode will also mark the introduction of me kind of moving mountains and setting up kind of stations and tunnels, that kind of thing. Episode 17 was just spent building the Fox interchange. For me, it was a lot of fun and a bit of a gimmick. Maybe this screenshot didn't help the amount of people watching it. I guess I should have gone for the clickbait thumbnail, just showing the actual interchange and not the crazy design I put on afterwards. But, you know, I'm not in it for the clickbait, I'm in it for the fun, and this game is a ton of fun. Episode 18, I started cutting into the hills with industry and residential buildings, and then I would finally get that milestone, the ultimate milestone, Megaopolis, which is 65,000. Check out the date, 9/3/2099. That was the date I hit Megalopolis. So there you go. That's part of a challenge in itself, trying to get to Megalopolis in as fast a time as possible. Episode 19 was me finishing off the Hill Step Industries, and also it was the episode where I unlocked the Statue of Industry, 10,000 squares of industrial zoning built. And then I ended up, I think I was just detailing the hillside suburbia. So there you go. That was episode 19. Episode 20, with help from a viewer, a beautiful, awesome, amazing viewer really did help me on this one. Instead of placing down medical health centers as a city service building, you can do this a whole lot cheaper and easier by placing down the wind turbines. So yeah, I had to place down 518 of these to unlock the Amsterdam Palace. Now let me tell you, placing down 600 city service buildings is quite the task to begin with, unless you're kind of using this hack where you just place down the wind turbines. So not only did I get the Amsterdam Palace, but it also helped me unlock the Brandenburg Gate. Around this time, about 10,000 lifespans that lived in the city. So there you go. Episode 21, we built a hilltop wind farm and more cul-de-sacs to help with my main goal, which was now to get that business park unlocked. Episode 22, my city was really suffering with water issues, so I focused on trying to come up with a plan to somehow come up with something kind of creative and see if I can find a way of getting rid of that problem. And also, I realized I only had 6 unlocks left: the Arc de Triomphe, or the Arch of Triumph, whichever way it's worded out in the game. I think I've seen it worded both ways in the game. The Eiffel Tower, the Business Park, the Academic Library, the Aquarium, and lastly, the MAM, Modern Art Museum. So there you go, 7 unlocks to go. Did I say 6? I think there's 7. So from now on, I'm focusing not so much on town realism, just about gridding out as much as I can. So yeah, it's going to be kind of ugly. It's going to be a lot of zoning, a lot of grids, but that's the way forward to get these final unlocks, which are super, super tough. Also, at this stage of the game, City Skylines really does want you to look into the inner workings and use the menus they've given you. And also, they want you to dabble with using the policies. Really, they are pushing you in that way. And I'm glad they did. So thank you, Colossal Order. Thank you, City Skylines, because you really helped me get those final educational requirements. And guess what? I unlocked the Aquarium. 5,000 children in elementary schools. Now, I thought that was a tough one, but thanks to Colossal Order and their game mechanics, it worked. Episode 23, I placed my very first train station. Can you believe it? 23 episodes and not a single train station. Cargo stations, not a problem. Train stations, that was my problem. I also replaced all the office zones, well, nearly all of them, about 98% of them, with high-density commercial, residential, and generic industry. Now, this got me to Business Park, 20,000 squares of commercial zone built, so I finally got there. And the MAM Modern Art Museum, 50% of the population highly educated. This kind of achievement can be unlocked a whole bunch earlier, so yeah, tip number 2, try unlocking these ones earlier. You can do it easy with a smaller population. So let's say you got a population of 2, one gets highly educated, the other doesn't. That's your 50% quite easy. So there you go. Try and go for those ones early. I made it harder by going for them a little bit too late. So more residential expansion, throwing in extra schools, libraries, that kind of thing, got me the Academic Library. Now this one was quite a toughie, I guess. Yeah, I really did have to spread this one out between all these episodes. Yeah, as like I said, it was kind of worded differently or wrongly. It was worded wrongly, let's put it that way. They did it wrong. So yeah, 25% of population highly educated. Absolutely tough to do. Construct 5 instances of the Creator's Library, which it says there. But no, I came across how you do it. You just put down 5 normal libraries. So I could have got rid of the Creator's Library, got rid of that, and just had normal libraries. And obviously 300 library users in the city, which I did by placing lots of libraries and surrounding them by nothing but residential zones. That's how I got around that. Episode 24, we were nearly there. 2 unlocks to go. Both being from France, strangely enough, which is, yeah, kind of interesting. And coincidentally, I also had 2 tiles left to buy of my original 9 starting tiles, so that was kind of interesting. So like I said, it was just a case of mass gridding and zoning to try and get those final 2 unlocks. Now, as noted in the beginning of this video and the beginning of my series, I had limited access to resources and I had absolutely no access to oil, especially with the way my city was growing and with the tiles that I'd unlocked, bought, that kind of thing. So yeah, I really didn't get any access to oil, but I managed to kind of just find a little spot in the corner. So big thanks to those last 2 tiles. They really helped me get a little piece of oil, just that tiny piece just there. So with no more milestones to get, no more tiles to buy, it was all out for France. And I finally got my penultimate unlock, the Arc de Triomphe, 7,500 children in elementary schools, which consisted of a population of 143,681. So yeah, that was quite a toughie. I didn't think I'd get there, but I got there, and boy was I over the moon. I spent the rest of the episode, I believe, tidying up the mess, which was my water industry, and obviously adding more schools, that kind of thing. Episode 25, more of the same, lots of ugly gridding and ugly terraforming, ugly zoning, that kind of thing. But I thought I'd put down the cargo harbor. So I kind of went on to a little bit of semi-realistic building, semi. But yeah, I kind of happy with the way that changed, even though that created more problems. You could probably see with the amount of ships building up there. And then we came to it. Episode 26, my very, very last unlock. Now, I can't believe I did this. So I spent the first half of the episode doing what I did before. Lots of gridding, zoning, and terraforming. And I finally got there. I can't believe I did it. Check this date out. 11/12/21/61. Stop the clocks, everybody. I got my final unlock, the Eiffel Tower. Population, 214,356. And about $11.5 million in the bank. I'd finally done it. How long did it take me to do that? Let me work this out. Now, starting date 19/6/2024 to checking the game clock was 11/12/21/61, I think. Is that what I put down? So, working it out from the top of my head, Wednesday, June the 19th, 2024 to Friday, December the 11th, which would be 50,213 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. There you go. So yeah, it took me 50,213 days to complete the unlock challenge. Absolutely monumental task. Yeah, absolutely monumental. That's 137 years, 5 months and 22 days. Or 1,649 months, 22 days, that kind of thing. So there we go. So I'd finally done it. I can't believe I'd done it, but I did it. And I was absolutely over the moon. Not only was I over the moon, but importantly, the stress had gone. Oh boy, the stress had gone. I'd finally done it. So yeah, so I spent the very last part of that episode doing a proper build, a proper Art Fox build, which was the Statue of Industry build, which was a bit of fun and yeah, kind of a successful episode apparently. I guess the algorithms finally found me, so there you go. Absolutely enjoyed that build. It was a beautiful build and in the end it became a beautiful series for me. So yeah, what can I say about the Unlock challenge? It really was a challenge because I didn't have any mods. I didn't have any DLC, which kind of restricted what I could build and how I built it. I was only using the original 9 tiles. Now I know console players now get 25 tiles and PC players can mod it to 150 tiles, something like that. So that was a bit of a challenge in itself. Obviously, the starting location wasn't the best. Lots of mountains and hills. Like I kept mentioning, only a small access to a piece of water, which was kind of in trouble from the get-go of the pollution and the clean water flooding into each other, that kind of thing. I should have probably built lots of water towers, but that would have cost money. And I was trying to get as much money as I can. So yeah, the Unlock challenge for me as a vanilla player, not really knowing the game so much, you know, working it all out of the top of my head, some help from some of the viewers. It was a beautiful challenge, and I'm glad I did it because it really did get me to play the game the way the game should be played. Now, like I said before, my first city, which was Blackwoods, I didn't bother with policies, really. I didn't bother with the game mechanics and how things work. I just wanted to make a kind of adventurous, beautiful, kind of crazy city, and I achieved that. And with City Skylines, you can certainly play the game that way. It's kind of sandbox mode, not worrying about anything, that kind of thing, using mods or that razzmatazz. But yeah, I really wanted to play the game the way Colossal Order kind of probably imagined you'd be playing it, using all the mechanics, the policies, that kind of thing. And yeah, I played the heck out of it, and boy did I love it. So what's next with Cliffside Bay? Well, I'm actually going to continue the series, but a mini-series. I'm going to convert it into a proper city, but also I'm going to place down the monuments, which is another thing I've not placed down yet. Not even touched the monuments, let alone looked at them. So that's where we're going with Cliffside Bay. So yeah, I'm converting it into a proper city. It's going to be a mini-series, and I'm obviously going to be placing down those monuments. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So there you go, everybody. It was quite the challenge, and it really was a challenge for me. And so I put it to you guys, without any DLC or any mods, can you beat the Cliffside Bay challenge? All the unlocks, all the landmarks, and do that in as fast a time as possible using the game's mechanics. Can you do that in quicker time than 50,213 days? I bet you can. I bet you can. I bet you after all I've learned, I can do it too. So there you go. That was the journey of Cliffside Bay. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. But yeah, in the meantime, set up your own challenges or try and beat my challenge, and obviously have fun. So in the meantime, folks, sincerely look after each other. Have a really nice day, and I will see y'all